Narcissistic people, they want to abuse you behind closed doors, emotionally, verbally, psychologically, even physically or sexually abuse you on numerous occasions. And they expect for you to keep all of this injustice under wraps and hidden. They say whatever happens in this house stays in this house. But no, you can't heal what you keep covered up. Whenever you try to address an issue with a narcissistic person, they rarely take accountability for anything that they have done or what they have caused you. When you try having a conversation with them about the pain that they have caused you, they do not care about the pain that they have caused you. While survivors of narcissistic abuse are dealing with the trauma and they are suffering from the abuse that they have endured, the narcissist goes on their merry life, goes upon their daily lives and acts so unfazed. You see, they never thought that the survivors of their abuse would ever come out and speak out on what has happened to them. They expect for the narcissists expect for their victims to stay silent about what has happened. They love to give all of these threats that they're not going to follow through with because they're cowards. But while they expect for you to sit there and suffer in silence, and their image is being protected, there are abusers and predators running wildly free in the world, and another person could fall victim of their trap. And the enablers of the narcissist, their flying monkeys, will do everything that they can to protect the image of the abuser, but do nothing for the victim, for the survivor. And this is why survivors of narcissistic abuse deal with so much, because they sometimes feel as if they don't have anybody on their side to help them navigate and help them get through. The narcissist has fooled the people that enable them, has manipulated them, has given them this sob story to make other people feel sorry for them, to make the narcissist will basically make their victim out to be the bad guy so that other people could side with the narcissist. The narcissist will have everybody fooled and have everybody wrapped around their finger. But that one person that sees through them is the one that is seen as the outlier, is the one that is seen like the villain here when they are actually, in fact, the victim. And when survivors of narcissistic abuse begin to speak out on what has happened, then that's when they tend to shame the survivor. You're ruining their image. You're destroying their reputation. But the narcissist's reputation and image is false. It's faulty. It's not real. It's not who they truly are. It's who they are portraying themselves to be. It's who they want everyone else to see them as. And once a person sees a narcissist for who they truly are, they can't unsee it. They will see past the illusion, past the mask that they wear. But the enablers of narcissistic abuse don't see them as that. They don't see the narcissist for who they are. They see the narcissist for who the narcissist tells them that they are. But it's so ironic that the main people that are so quick to kiss the narcissist's ass and enable everything that they have done and side with them against the abuse, it's very ironic that not even the enablers are safe when it comes to the narcissist, because the narcissist could quickly turn on the same people that enable them and make them a new target and a source of supply. But the only reason as to why they are not a target is because they are doing what the narcissist wants. They are under their control. And that is when the enablers awaken to who the narcissist truly is. Because the enablers think this whole entire time I've been defending you, I've been sticking up for you, I have been going off on people behind you, and this is how you do me? You do me like that? That's when they have a rude awakening that the narcissist is not loyal to anybody but themselves. And that's when the enablers learn the hard way. To you listening right now, when you are the black sheep, you are a survivor of narcissistic abuse. Those people that constantly enable your narcissistic abuser, because they are playing a role in the continuation of your abuse, they will receive their karma as well. Because they are coming against a good person. They are coming against a child of God. And God does not take it too lightly when people come against his children. So what God will allow circumstances to play itself out naturally, where the narcissist will drop the mask and act out, show their true colors, and even in some ways abuse their enablers. So that way the enablers can really see at first hand who this person truly is. And if they don't believe it, then they're never going to get it. But you see, what tends to happen is one of two things can happen. When the enablers get abused by the narcissist, they will either see the narcissist for who they are and decide, I want nothing to do with this person. I'm not dealing with this. I'm not about to be loyal to somebody and continue to defend somebody that just treated me the same exact way that they treated that other person. I'm not defending them anymore. Because now I feel exactly what that person feels. And I never wanted to feel like what that person felt. You see, enablers are the bystanders. The narcissist is the bully. The bystander will sit back and watch someone be abused, and they won't do anything to stop it. The only time the bystanders will say something is when that person that's being bullied starts to fight back. It's like, imagine a fight going on and a bully is just hitting and punching on this one person. And the rest of the bystanders are just sitting there watching this person just get beat on. They're not even trying to get the bully to stop attacking that person. Then when that child or that person starts fighting back, then that's when the bystanders are, hey, you can't hit them. Hey, no. And that's when they're trying to jump in the fight. You see, bystanders, they are cowards. They are the type of people where it's like, better them than me. It's better that they're being abused over me. And any person who could sit back and watch someone be abused and tortured and hurt and put down and belittled, and they could sit back and watch that person suffer, and they feel nothing for the person that's suffering, those people don't have a good heart. And they are no different than the narcissist. You see, narcissists Narcissists like to have an entourage. They like to have people around them that fuel them. When they have people that are condoning their behavior, they continue to do what they do. And it gets to a point where the survivors of narcissistic abuse get so fed up with the narcissist, with their enablers, that they eventually just see those people as all one and the same. They're like, you all are exactly alike. Whether it's one of you that's being the abuser or whether you all are jumping back and forth, but you all are the same. But let's go back to when that narcissist will go off and start abusing their enablers. The first option was that those enablers will finally wake up and see the narcissist for who they truly are. They'll believe them and they'll move around, move accordingly, not deal with the narcissist anymore. Or what they will do is they have so much fear of the narcissist and what they will say and what they will do that they continue to enable them, that they continue to bypass the abuse. They ignore the bad because they feel like they are just too afraid to stand up to them, and they are too afraid to even leave them alone, to walk away from them. They feel that it's safer to sit back and deal with their type of turmoil because they feel that it'll be worse if they were to walk away and leave them alone. So really, those enablers of narcissistic abuse are trapped like prisoners. They are like enslaved by the narcissist. It's like the narcissist is the slave master and their enablers are the slaves, getting them to do whatever it is that they want. And it doesn't matter how abusive they are. Those slaves will still continue to obey. And they won't retaliate because they don't want freedom. But then you have those other slaves over there that they want to be free. They don't want to be under this control. They don't want to be trapped. They're trying to break free. They're trying to save themselves. And when they're trying to get free and save themselves, those that are afraid to break free, instead of them having the courage to break free with them, they would rather just stay where they are, to stay exactly where they are, because they're too afraid to leave. They would rather stay and deal with all of the pain, deal with all of the drama, than leave. But remember this, if they want to stay trapped, if they want to be enslaved, if they want to be held prisoner by the narcissist, let them. Let them. Don't even worry about them anymore. Because they are not going to change. They are not going to break free. They are not going to leave. And you constantly dealing with them and giving them your energy and going back and forth with them over the abuse that the narcissist has put you through, you're going to exhaust yourself because you all are going to just be constantly going in this repetitive cycle, arguing back and forth, but there's no solution. Because the enablers are arguing their point with you because they want for you to be on their side. They want for you to just shut up about the abuse and just take it and not change the narrative of what's going on. You see, when you begin to break out of the mold, when you begin to break the routine, when you begin to alter the dynamic, that's when the truth begins to be revealed. That's where the truth comes out. And the true problem is where it lies. They love to blame the problems on the black sheep of the family when the black sheep has nothing to do with the problems that goes on in the family. It's all the narcissistic abuser that creates the dynamic. For example, I'm the youngest of 4. There was a 10-year age gap between myself, the youngest, and the oldest. And a lot of the abuse that happened within my parents' marriage happened well before I was born. And me being the last born, I came in on the tail end of that shit. By the time I was 7 years old, my mother had filed for divorce against my dad. By the time I was, 8 years old, I was my parents were living in separate homes. So me being a young child when all of this stuff was happening and dealing with the stress of being a young child and having your parents go through a divorce is stressful. It's difficult. It affects your development. But the family will still find a way to blame the problems on the black sheep and say the black sheep of the family is causing all of these issues, trying to tell me that I'm the one that's causing all of the problems in this family. When I was the last one to get here and the problems were already existing, I was born in the chaos. So if the chaos already existed before I was even born, it's not me. But you see, they don't want to face the truth of who the problem really is. They would rather point it out on the pure one, on the innocent one, the one that sees through everything. They would rather point you as the bad guy because you are speaking the truth, and they'd rather protect the narcissist. You see, narcissists work together. Understand, family, that narcissism is the spiritual warfare of the light versus the dark. The narcissists are the dark. Us empaths are angels. We are the light. And the darkness is going to stay together the same way that the light is going to stay together. And a lot of times, if you are the black sheep of your family, you are the only one in your household that is of the light. Everyone else is of the dark. That's why everyone else will gather together to come against you, and you are outnumbered. But regardless of you being outnumbered, they can't defeat you. They can't stop you because you are divinely protected every single time you step out and speak your truth. You're not tarnishing anyone's image when you are speaking your truth of what they have done to you. You see, they don't tend to care about your pain and your trauma when you try talking to them about it behind closed doors. They don't give you the time of day. They don't help you. They don't emotionally support you. Then when you come out and speak on it publicly, now all of a sudden they care. Now all of a sudden they want to pay attention to you. But no, where was this energy when I was trying to talk about it behind closed doors? And even when they say, you should just talk to your family about it, just talk to them. Then when you go try talking to them, it's the same old thing. So let me tell you, you do exactly what you want to do. You go out there and you expose them. You go out there and you speak your truth, because as long as you are telling the truth of what has happened to you, you are fine. You see, narcissists, what they do is they spread lies about you and say, you've done this, you've done that to this person, to that person, to this family member, when you haven't even done that. The narcissists want the good person to look bad, and the narcissist hides what they have done. And what happens is the narcissistic enablers will disregard the abuse. Those narcissistic enablers will go against that black sheep, and they'll ask you like, well, what is the problem that you have with them? You'll go out there and list, they did this to me, they did that to me, they said this to me, this was abusive, this hurt my feelings. And every single thing that you list, they will find a way to justify every single thing that they have done. Because at this point, they're not trying to hear you out. They're not trying to support you. They're only trying to shame you and guilt you and control you. But the minute you are not controlled by them is when you are holding your power, you are standing in your power, you are standing in your light, and they can't affect you. Narcissists thrive off of power and control. And when they do not get that power and control, they get desperate to get it. That's why they will continue to pick fights with you. They'll start arguing with you, but the argument is not even you going back and forth with them. It's them just laying in on you, saying a bunch of mean things to you. And then they walk away, and then they come back and they continue. And then they walk away and they come back and they continue. That's abuse. That's bullying. That's verbal attack. That's harassment. They start harassing you. And it's all because they're mad that you're taking your power back. They're mad that you've awakened to what is really going on. They're mad at the fact that you're no longer blindsided by everything. You see, for the longest time, they abused you and you sat there and took it. You sat there and you took it because at times you didn't even realize you were being abused. But you see, if you can't, like those narcissists, they know exactly what they're doing. They know that they are being rude to you. They know that they are being disrespectful. They know that they are ganging up on you. They know that they are playing favoritism with you. But they do not care. They don't care about how they treat you. They don't care about your feelings. They don't care about what you've been through. They have shown you that they don't care. So, what you have to do is you have to have no regards for their feelings. Because they have no regards for yours. You have to beat a narcissist at their own game. It's a game and they think that they are winning, but they only reach a certain level. And they play the exact same way. They only have a limited amount of moves to make. That's why narcissists are very predictable. And when you know their tactics and you can beat them at their own game, stay several steps ahead of them. If you stay steps ahead of them, you are in control. You have your power. The way to defeat a narcissist is to take your power back. When you fully take your power back, they can't stop you anymore. They can't. And they will do any and everything that they can to gain more power and control over you. But when you don't fold, that's when they recognize that they are dealing with a different person. They're dealing with a very strong person on their hands. And it's crazy because narcissists pick the strong ones. They pick the strongest ones, but then they get blindsided by how truly strong they are. Like, yeah, they're strong and they're strong enough to walk away from you and never look back. Remember that strength that you have and walk away from these people. These people are not going to change. They are going to continue to be abusive. They're going to continue to enable the abuse, and they're not going to care about how you feel. These people don't support you emotionally. They aren't there for you. When you go through difficult situations, they are nowhere to be found. Or when you go through difficult situations, they find a way to blame you. You don't need that in your life, baby. You don't need to deal with that kind of abuse. The only way that you're going to have that freedom and that peace in your life is by cutting them off and walking away so that you can have the space to heal. You cannot fully heal if you are constantly surrounded by them. You got to walk away. You got to get them out of your energetic space. You have to revoke their access to you, because anytime they have their access to you, they abuse it. Access denied. Access denied.